Namaskar dosto. Hello everybody there. First of all, I'm very happy to get this opportunity to discuss with you on healthy and happy heart. Friends, today I'm going to tell you something that I have learned over the years. How do we keep our heart healthy? And also we'll understand that how important it is to keep your heart happy so that it remains healthy. There are a lot of interesting situations. There are a lot of interesting data. There's a lot of interesting discussion. I don't criticize them. I don't say yes or no. I don't take sides. So therefore I say interesting. But I guess we need to at least address these things in the light of whatever information that we have and try to percolate this information to others. And then obviously it is up to their wisdom how much they want to adopt and what do they want to do about it. But at least we should share the knowledge. And therefore it's a great platform. And thank you very much, Dr. Rupa, to take all of us into this exercise and make such a beautiful event. I look forward to learn from each of the speakers. So now I start my talk, and I hope that you would be able to see my slides. So I am here to share my slides now with you. So this is myself. Now it is more than 25 years that I've been practicing cardiology, and I spent a lot of time outside India, especially in Nepal. And I've written few books. Now it's 7 years that we have come back to India. I practice now at Medanta Hospital Indore and few trust hospitals. I am now largely into preventive cardiology, as well as I take a lot of interest in reading and writing. I give a lot of talk shows. And of course, I'm a vegan, I'm a marathoner, I'm a nature lover. And I'm happy to share with you what I have learned over the years. For a healthy and happy heart, first of all, I know that we are all busy like this these days, already having too much of work. And here is a lady who says, I'm inviting all these doctors to help you live healthier and happier. So if you like the talk, you can say thanks. And if you don't like the talk, you know whom to blame. So friends, let's see. Let's start now. So disease burden. You can see that 30 years ago, 10 years ago, and even today, ischemic heart disease remains number one killer in all the Asian countries. Even though in developed countries, heart diseases have reduced. But in India, it is so unfortunate, the country with less number of equipped hospitals, less paying capacity, less educated people, but the disease is increasing. And therefore, we all need to understand that why it is happening so. And not just the physical problem, look at the psychological issues. Again, in last 40 years, 20 years ago and today, all the psychological issues are getting worse. So obviously, when we talk about health, we talk about physical health, but we also need to address the psychological health. Let's start with physical health first. Healthy heart, and then we'll talk about happy heart. So friends, this is our heart. ये ऐसे धक 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 करता है. And we are not talking of this pan ka patta. I don't know who has made this pan ka patta. The human heart does not look like pan ka patta, okay? So this is what a human heart looks like. And these are small coronary arteries, which are like 3-4 millimeters wide. And when you develop blockages, cholesterol deposits into these arteries, you suffer heart problems. Not all chest pains are heart disease pain. If suppose there's a pain which is localized, then this may not be cardiac pain. If the pain gets worse when you are walking, then that could be angina, that could be cardiac pain. Suppose there is a severe chest pain and there is ghabrat, there is sweating, then it could be a heart attack. And the best first aid at the time of heart attack, of course, is Disprin or aspirin. Right? So this is the blood thinner that is given at the time of admission to all patients who come with heart attack. But I want to draw your attention towards the stories that draw our attention these days. Like when we came back to India, right then, about 6 years ago, there was this 23-year-old boy who suffered a heart attack and we had to put 2 stents in his heart. Then there was a 33-year-old lady. She also suffered a heart attack. She collapsed. She was on ventilator and then she was brought to our hospital and then we had to do her angioplasty as well. So one has to understand why young people with no obvious major risk factors, so-called vegetarian people, they also suffer serious cardiac issues. Before I go into those details, let me just show you this picture. तो हम लोग दोस्तों पैदा होते हैं बिल्कुल clean artery से. You can see this lumen, which is absolutely clean. And as you go to the right side of this picture, you can see that there's a deposit, this yellow deposit. And this yellow deposit is cholesterol deposit that reduces the size of the lumen. And someday, suddenly, there's a rupture of this plaque, and then that can cause a sudden thrombus, and that results into heart attack. This was a 25-year-old boy, doctor in Nepal, in Kathmandu, where I was working at Norwich International Hospital. And this boy had severe chest pain and ECG showed inferior wall myocardial infarction. We did this emergency angiography and you can see that the right artery is 100% blocked there. And this is after the angioplasty was done and a stent was put. And this is the emergency treatment of heart attack. You have to open the artery and remove the block and put a stent. You thought that the doctors are safe. They must be living longer because they know all the information. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Doctors are not very safe. This study was done about 10 years ago. About 16,000 doctors all over the country were included in the history. And friends, shocking was the information that Indian doctors lived about a decade shorter than an average Indian. Why? Because of mostly cardiovascular diseases and stress and sedentary and faulty lifestyle. So we will try to understand that why this is happening, that even doctors don't understand that what are the key factors that are important as far as the heart health is concerned. Traditionally, we know all this. Smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol are the traditional risk factors to develop heart attacks. Even if you talk of these traditional risk factors, friends, there is a special point that we are going to make today that can reduce all these 3 important factors out of the 4. That means blood sugar, blood pressure, as well as cholesterol. If I could tell you that if you just take some basic care of your diet, all these 3 things could be significantly reduced, then it's a great news, isn't it? But either you can take care of your diet and exercise, or you can do some Photoshop. It's up to you. See, sometimes I tell my patients that you don't need a lot of investigations and expensive tests to know your heart health. मुझे कई बार लगता है कि आपके डॉक्टर से ज्यादा आपके दर्जी को पता होता है कि आपके स्वास्थ्य में प्रगति हो रही है या दुर्गति हो रही है. So, because your tailor knows that what is the growth of your waist, and that actually correlates with the risk of your heart disease. Look at this progress that we have made over the years. The TV has become so thin. Our waist has grown up so much. What type of progress is this, friends? Look at this. And sometimes we don't even know where we are sitting at. So we need to obviously take care of our food habits, don't you? So as we talk about food habits, friends, we need to understand that we should ask ourselves, do we eat to live or are we eating to live? Are we living to eat? खाने के लिए जी रहे हैं दोस्तों की जीने के लिए खा रहे हैं. ये हमारी जो जीभ है, this is like 70 grams, 80 grams tongue. How nicely it spoils 70 kilograms of body. Because we are only concerned about this small tongue. So I tell my people that satisfy this organ according to its weight. That should be the proportion that you should allow yourself to cheat. And another thing is very important, don't eat unhealthy food under pressure. हमारे घर में हम अपने खुद के जियाजी को, अपने खुद के जवाई को खिला खिलाकर बीमारी देने का क्यों प्रयास करते हैं? Why do we force our own friends and family members? Any ladies particularly who are watching this talk, I have a question to ask you. How often you have offered, जिया जी मेरे हाथ से ककड़ी खाओ, जिया जी मेरे हाथ से वेजिटेबल सूप लो, नहीं जिया जी आप मेरे हाथ से एक लड्डू खा ही लो. नहीं, आज तो आपको एक लड्डू खाना ही पड़ेगा. अरे आपके जिया जी खुद ही लड्डू हो गए. ये आइसक्रीम खिलाइए, ये खीर खिलाइए, ये उसको गुलाब जामुन खिलाइए. You know, so your mother-in-law, नहीं नहीं जवाई साहब आज तो आज मेरे हाथ से तो खा ही लो. केक, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू. उसकी बर्थडे पे केक खिला खिला के आपने 2-4 दिन उसके कम कर दिए बर्थडे पे, और आज तक मैंने देखा नहीं किसी ने हाथ धो के केक खिलाया. So you know, it's up to you to decide how do you want to celebrate festivals and important days in your life. But for God's sake, don't force your own family members and your own relatives and old friends to eat unhealthy during these happy moments. Even salt. How much salt do we eat? 1.5 million deaths every year, WHO data, because of consumption of excessive salt. If you come to Indore, see, we have no other place to take you to. Chappan Dukan and Sarafa, you know, all junk food that you can see, and all our love is expressed through this. आपके मुंह में पानी आ रहा है क्या देखकर? But this is not the way we should express our love. This is not love, this is ignorance. You know, all these junk food, whether they are vegan or not vegan, that's not the case. Even vegan food may not be all that healthy if you're not removing the refined part of food from that. इस प्यार को क्या नाम दूं मैं बताएं? ये कैसा प्यार है? What type of love is this? So we should try to understand that this is not love. Now, whether your tongue likes it or not, but your heart surely likes, enjoys this type of food. This is the food that we all need to have. This is the type of food we need to enjoy and we need to consume on a regular basis. So eating a plant-based diet at any age may lower cardiovascular risk. This is from American Heart Association. Last year, eating a plant-based diet at any age may lower cardiovascular risk. So this is such an important information from the literature that I have brought for you. For adults, both young and old, eating a nutritious plant-based diet may lower the risk for heart attacks and other types of cardiovascular disease. And both the studies were published in the Journal of American Heart Association last year. One found eating a plant-centered diet in young adulthood lowered the risk later on in middle age for heart attack, stroke, heart failure, and other cardiovascular conditions. How important is this? So the research definitely underscores the importance of eating more fruits and vegetables. They do suggest that it doesn't mean strict vegetarianism, but definitely more you are vegan, better it is. See, the impact of vegan diet for 3 years. Just for 3 years, when somebody suffered a heart attack and he became vegan for 3 years, the subsequent risk of developing another cardiac problem reduced 6 times more if he became vegan as compared to non-vegans. So you are safer by 6 times, just in case you decide to turn into vegan. However, as I told earlier, not all plant-based diet are healthy. So there could be vegan junk food, which are obviously not good, or high quality plant foods like vegetable, fruits, whole grains and nuts. What is vegan junk food? So obviously knows that, all the refined grains, potatoes, sweets, fruit juices, these are lower quality plant foods. So when you talk about vegan food, obviously you should also understand that what type of vegan food you are talking. Sorry. Now we need to avoid trans fats as well as refined carbs. These are very important things. So vegan, no vegan is different. But even from vegan, repeatedly heated oil is not good. Hydrogenated fat is not good. Maida and sugars are not good. So we need to understand that we need to avoid these things also. And physical exercise, of course, is very important. So, of course, you take care of one aspect for healthy heart, but you also take care that you are not taking tobacco. You are also doing physical activities. And the ladies who are around there, you should try to understand your responsibility because you can motivate lot many. And don't think that a vegan person may not be healthy or may not be fit. Here I am. I could run 1,000 kilometers in about 90 days earlier, and I have done now more than 60 half marathons. So it is fine, So you can be a vegan and you can still be physically fit. But then one should also understand that over exercise is also not very good. One should try to make a balance that you try to do about 150 to 300 minutes of physical exercise every week. I repeat, 150 to 300 minutes of physical exercise every week is what you need to look at. My sincere gratitude to these two wonderful ladies. And Dr. Nandita, thank you very much. When I talked to her last year and I said, I'm seriously thinking of getting complete vegan now. And there are last few items I need to leave. And she asked me just one question. What are you waiting for? Boom. That was the day and I knew that I don't need to wait a day longer. Anyway, friends, so this was part one of my talk on healthy heart. Briefly, I will now talk to you about happy heart. ये स्लाइड किसने लगाया? मैं तुम्हारे पैर पकड़ता हूं डॉक्टर रावत, मेरा दिमाग मत खाओ. I hope I am not eating up your brain. I am a vegan, by the way. So I don't really intend to eat your brain, even if it is a vegetable. Anyway, so what is my part two? जिंदगी के पेड़ पर सुकून की पत्ती थरथराती जरूर है, चाहे गुनाह से पहले, चाहे गुनाह के बाद. We'll talk more about it a little later. But what I want to say is, if you want to stay peaceful, cheerful, happy, one thing is that you cannot be happy when you are harming others. गुनाह करके आप खुश नहीं रह सकते. You cannot be happy hurting others. So somebody asked Jai Krishnamurti, how do you treat others? And you know what did he reply? He said, there are no others. There are no others. So that is the concept I want to bring to your notice, friends. When you talk of happy heart, first thing is there are no others. We can't fill our stomach and satisfy our tongue by hurting others. And when I say hurt others, obviously we include animals, we include Mother Earth. One aspect we need to understand is that too much of thinking is becoming a problem. It's becoming a disease. More people suffer from thought attacks than heart attacks. And because of this thought attacks, we try to look into shortcuts for superficial happiness. And that is why we indulge into all the bad habits and addictions that we have. Now imagine, if you have two doctors to choose, which doctor are you going to choose? The left one or the right one? What type of mood we are in most of the day? Obviously, the mood would be decided by your health and your health will be decided by your mood. We need to transform. There's one question we need to also remember, that if there was a gardener, even if you didn't believe in God, but assume that there's a gardener. What is this gardener thinking about us as we enter his garden and we leave this garden, say, after 50 or 70 years? Is he happy with our presence or is he unhappy with our presence? What is his point of view as he watches our entry and exit into his garden? My father always tells life is a leela, friends. It's very, very short time pass. Of course, it's a time pass. Nothing is so serious. But my point is, it should be as non-violent as possible. And when I talk about violence, I'm not just talking about the physical violence that you do to your colleagues or children or anyone else. I'm essentially talking about violence that we also do to other species and to the Mother Earth. Are we aware of it? Do we do something about that? So when I say go vegan, it's not just for our health, it's also for animal welfare, it's also for Mother Earth's health. I guess there's really no choice for all of us to understand that we are just guests in this world. Now we need to ask ourselves, what type of guest are we? Are we very demanding? Are we somebody who is ill-mannered and disturbing the host, always complaining? How often we will like to have such guests in our house? So we need to understand that we are also just guests in this world. So this was my TED Talk. You can watch it, Balance Sheet of Life. What we have received and what do we offer to this earth? What do we create and what do we take away? What is our maintenance cost? How expensive are we? What are my liabilities when I am living on this planet? So you can watch this, and my last few slides are these, that with all this information, now let's face the world by a promise that I won't hurt anyone. Everyone is in my prayers. And I won't get emotionally hurt. So this is very, very important that we understand that we will not hurt anyone. This is our operation theater, doctor. Do you want to come here? Anybody wants to come here? If you don't want to come here, then please follow what I'm trying to say. Do not hurt yourself with the type of shortcuts that we take to live with a superficial happiness and with all the addictions and poor food choices. These are my few of the books that you can read when you get time. Do not forget these forgotten pills. These are proven methods to promote good health. They are not expensive and they don't have side effects. These are the forgotten pills, friends. Pranayam, yoga, homemade, plant-based food, physical exercises, good reading, simple company, proper sleep, meditation, and stable mood. So friends, heart diseases are on rise. We surely don't know about all of them yet. A lot of studies are to be done yet. But it's our duty to take care of our heart health and general health with whatever information that we have so far. This world is unlikely to remain safe and sound for the future generations unless we take care of the Mother Earth. A simple and honest living is key to a fear-free living. A peaceful, fear-free heart is likely to be a disease-free heart. Let's make this world better to live for our future generations. Finally, friends, we should not have conflict of interest. And what do I mean by conflict of interest? What good it will be if all the police of all the cities start wishing that there are no crimes in their cities. How nice it would be if the defense military people of all the countries start imagining that there is no stress, there is no tension on the line of control or between the two countries. How nice it would be if the politicians start trying their best that all the religion, all the people, they live in harmony. How nice it would be if all the doctors, all the hospitals start imagining and working for a common goal that people don't fall sick. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen because we have some conflict of interest. Efforts like this are very important to see that we all stay in a peaceful, happy world without any conflict of interest. Thank you very much, all of you. Stay healthy, stay happy. Namaskar.
आफ्ताब को पूरी तरीके से ताकि आफ्ताब कोई बात ना कर सके, आफ्ताब कुछ कह नहीं इसके पूरी तरीके से इन्वेस्टिगेशन में है। और ये देखिए ये जंगलों में पहुंची है, ये 3 किलोमीटर दूर है ये जंगल जो मेन थाना है वहां से। और
So this is what I wanted to share with all of you today. I hope that you learned few things, and I'm sure that this few simple tips we can do good to our own health, to our family's health, and to the health of our mother world. Thank you, everyone. Stay healthy and happy and keep spreading smiles.